I want to show everybody another trick. Those who be riding with me and walking with me. When you pray and you meditate and you done gave your all to God, listen to me carefully. Because I hate explaining this because you gotta be careful when you talk about stuff like this. Because the astral be in motion. I'm moving side by side with God. Almost, not really, but you know. Let me show y'all a trick. You're gonna love this. If you know you done gave your all to God, literally, and you done gave your best. My grandma told me something. She said, you're gonna come up on a season where you're gonna be tested. And she said, I was just asking her, what you mean? Like, what more can you test me? She said, we're gonna test your emotions. We're gonna get in your emotions, make you get in your emotions. I said, seriously? And I said that sarcastically, as in saying, you gonna get me in my emotions? But boy, was I sadly mistaken when I said that. And literally, it took me 3.5 years to even get adjusted to it. When you pray and you done gave it to God, the next part of your works when it comes to God is having faith and believing in God. Listen to what I'm telling you, my people that walk with me. You are planets. We are dealing with planets, unhealed planets that wishes to overthrow the healed planets. Listen carefully. What's gonna happen is that you're gonna put your work in. You're gonna pray, you're gonna meditate, and you're gonna put your footwork in. And you're gonna expect. This is what I've been talking about when I say you get at the finish line and you have to go all the way back to the beginning. Just to make it to the finish line and probably go all the way back to the beginning. But what you must understand is that even though you're going back to the beginning, you're not going back to the beginning because you've been sinning. You're not going back to the beginning because you done something wrong. You're going back to the beginning because God is filtering. I'm trying to say this, you're going to have to read between the cracks of the carpet because God is filtering your enemies. You watch them fall back to back. And then eventually, this one particular group, when I say group, it could be a group on the surface, in the physical, in your face, on social media. They can all somehow be tied in one with each other. And then you can notice that they're a program. Not only are they a program, but they probably followed you from lifetimes with each other. So when you see it like this, you're talking about the legal system, a group of the legal system, a group of the hospitals, a group in any aspect, in every aspect of life, a group in your community, a group in your town, a group in your country, a group in foreign countries. This is a group, a planet. You probably only know one person in this planet, so you can just visualize that person over everybody else in that planet, just because you know this person in your planet. Listen to me. This is when Satan wants you to fumble the ball. Because you're going to get to this finish line. You're going to see that you got to the finish line. You're going to know that you deserve to be at the finish line and you trying to cross this finish line. But you ain't going to be able to cross this finish line. And you got to thank God that you can't cross this finish line. I hear there's people out there crying right now. Don't be crying, because you still winning. Have you been praying? Have you been meditating? Have you been having faith? Have you been cleansing? Then you've been putting in the collection plate. If you've been doing that, Don't you believe? Don't you have faith? Haven't you witnessed? Surely I tell you the truth, how you humans have so little faith. Listen to me, you're gonna have to read between the cracks in the carpet. When this moment presents itself, and you see that everything twisted again, you got to the finish line, you done helped out a friend, you know you done helped out a friend, and now y'all both should be at the finish line. You expected your whole team to be at the finish line. You expected your whole planet to be at the finish line. And you noticing that you the only one at the finish line. And now you noticing you can't cross the finish line because something is wrong with your line. That's when you got to go back to the beginning of the line. That's how God tell you to go back to the beginning of the line. Listen to me. If you done that work, you believe in God, and you give it to God, and you trust in God, and you just know everything's gonna be okay with God. The enemy is never gonna one-up God. It might look like the enemy one-up a God. It might look like the enemy gonna win when it comes down to God. But surely I tell you the truth, even some of those working for the enemy is lying to you. They even opt for God. So, what do this mean? You believe and you keep your faith with the Most High. And you give God time to filter out life. You're going to see everything adjust. You're going to see everything change when you're at the beginning of the line. You're going to put everything together. You're going to put everything in order. You're going to know for a fact you're going to get to the finish line, and you're going to know for a fact you need to cross the finish line, and you're going to know for a fact that you're going to cross the finish line because you got all your ducks in the line. But you're going to get to that finish line, and you ain't going to be able to cross that finish line, and this is when you're going to feel like you need to weep and start crying. Don't. If you want to cry tears of joy and give it to God. Because this is the way my Father worked. Listen to me. Read between the lines. So why is God doing this? Let me show you something. You done gave your all to God sincerely this time. You walking this fine line with God sincerely this time. I know you thinking about love. You can't wait to hold your love. I know you thinking about a home. You can't wait to be in your home. You can't wait to have your family. But unfortunately, you can't cross this line or the finish line this time. You're going to have to go back. So why is this, Tat? What is going on? Why are we doing this? Why we keep going through this? Why God keep forsaking us? Are you sure about that? It's 8.2 billion people here, and each human being has his own planet. You've been gang stalked, bamboozled, duped, blackmailed, blackballed. Nobody gets away when you give God your all. You ain't got to call the law when you give God your all. But call the law now. I ain't saying that you do what you got to do. But listen to what I'm telling you. Read between the lines, all. This is when they expect you to fall. But here's the problem with this situation. This is the situation. You at the finish line. You can't cross the finish line. You know you can't cross the finish line. You know you got to go back to the beginning of the finish line. Satan prays at this moment. Oh yeah, Satan start trembling at this moment. Because at this moment, Satan really needs you to fall. Oh boy, he's saying something. What is he saying? Satan needs you to fall right there. Because Satan knows you're going to get to this finish line only so many times. I tell you. And guess what? Because you had to go back to the beginning of the line and come back to this finish line just to go back to the beginning of the line, believe it or not, that situation is redefined by the divine. Even though you feel like it's Satan, and you feel like Satan just keep winning every time, listen to me, people. I'm trying to tell you something. What I'm trying to tell you is that I understand this situation, but I need everyone that's following me to get it too. Now, I'm finna tell you something that nobody else have told you about this situation. This is the problem right here that keep you falling. This is the situation that keep you drowning. This is the situation that keep the best of us on our knees or falling. Over and over and over again. So tell us, even myself sometimes, have to catch myself when I'm at the finish line. I see the lover, I see the money. Oh, I'm finna jump over this finish line. I see the lover, I see the money. Oh, I gotta jump over this finish line. I better not jump over that finish line. Cause the divine already done told me it ain't time for me to cross that finish line. So what's really going on? This is the moment where Satan pray hard that you fumble the ball when you realize you can't cross that finish line, because Satan is not the reason that you just paused. Now, remember them planetary balls that's full of group of people who don't like none of y'all. You done went to this finish line many times, but when I get through telling you this, you're gonna realize that you might not have went through this finish line to that finish line enough. And you're gonna thank God that you didn't cross that finish line after I get through talking. You're gonna get to this finish line because God done already defeated your enemies. But here's the problem. The enemies that was defeated was the planets that you recognized. But what you don't know is that you see all these people. How do these people know this? How do these people know that? How do these people get so good at this? How do these people even able to do this? Because it's somebody who actually hired them lines, put them in that position to ruin your life. And the divine, let me show you your purpose in this time. The divine needed you to do all that so you can bring to the surface, so you can bring out those. Because see, those gonna rear their head when they realize that you've been defeating lines, planets. But see, those are the ones that feel like they elevated so high they could kill you anytime. So when you get to that finish line, the divine tell you not to cross that finish line because the divine finally see the faces that he been wanting to see, that been hiding their faces this whole time. See, the enemy that you've been seeing is not truly the enemy. Them are just puppets. They always have been puppets. They are not even worth the dime. So it's been worthless for you to even cross that finish line because your real enemy you have never seen. My father have never failed me. Listen to me when I tell you this. When I say my father have never failed me, when you say that the father have failed you, you talking about your clothes, your fine linen, your cars you drive, the money that you ain't got. When I say my father never failed me, it's because of all the times that he kept me alive, made me able to heal myself, to continue and rise, no matter how many times I failed. Gave me another day to save my life, save my soul, preserve my soul. And when God done been with you, like I know my father done been with me, I know it ain't nothing that I can't do. And it ain't nothing that I can't overcome. Listen to me, people. God ain't gonna let you cross this finish line until he done moving that mountain. See, you see the surface, but unfortunately, no matter if it's a group of people in the legal system, in the hospital, in the streets, in the surface where you live, in your country, and other countries, no matter, that still was a planet. That was a planet of group of people that is not the group of people that God wanted to see. And even once God see the group of people that he want to see, you probably still never see these group of people, because these group of people been targeting you ever since you was a seed. So now you see why you can't cross this finish line, because it ain't even about you or me. It's about getting rid of this mountain who been holding down my people. So boom, let's say guys shoot one planet, knock them down. Boom, shoot another planet, knock them down. Boom, shoot another planet and knock them down. You look back, you say, God got them all. Thank you, God, I love you. Knees hit the ground. And you go to the finish line, but you notice it's quiet in the astro. It's quiet in the astro, and God ain't said nothing yet because he know it ain't over yet. Because the real planets who hide them previous planets have yet to show their best. And not only when they show their best, they already ready to show their best. They probably done showed a few of their best. And guess what? We shot down their best. Shot down all of them. But now we waiting on the best. Now I just showed you your purpose. Now you know your purpose ain't to find that lover and get to that lover. Thank God you got a lover. Thank God God gonna put you with a lover, because there's no better lover than God putting you with a lover. But that's just a gift when you done. God gonna be sure that when we finish, we ain't gonna have no problem being lovers. It ain't gonna be no ops. It ain't gonna be no moles in our relationship, in our family, to make sure that we don't continue to be lovers. So let them swap the energy out. Let them swap the deck of cards out. Because at this moment in time, we don't know who working for who. They triple ops. They could be working for the enemy, or they could be ours. So at this moment in time, it's best that you just stay quiet, continue to pray, give God your all, and stop counting the hours. Because right now, we're not moving planets. We're not moving friends and family members. We're not moving enemies that we've been known our whole life to be enemies. We are moving mountains that paid them to be our enemies. Amen.